Will the virtuous Sangha, out of compassion, for the sake of this assembly and all living beings, please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính đại đức tận thịnh, vì thứ pháp hội khắp nhất thiết chúng sanh. Tình duyên diệu pháp luân giao đạo ngã môn, như há liêu sanh thoát tư ly khổ đắc lạc, thấp chứng vô sanh. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Namo Sananto Suche Doye Alahudi San Miao San Puto Xie. Namo Tarakta Tuya Daya Alahade Tamyo Dambo Datwa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I'm able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual principles. Wu shang sheng she wei miao fa bai jian wan jie 南朝云，我今见闻得受持，愿解如来真实义。O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Venerable Huineng, Venerable Shenhua, Venerable left home people and all good new advisors, Emitofuo. 诸佛菩萨六祖师父上人，各位出家人，各位善知識，阿彌陀佛。Chư Phật Bồ Tát, kính thưa lục tổ hệ năng, Hòa thượng Phiên Hóa, quý thầy cô, quý vị thiện tri thức A Di Đà Phật. Hey Korea, this is a Dharma request, meaning you put your palms together. What happened to your manners? Okay. Hello everyone. Today is the 25th of April 2021. We are... What happened to the present button? We are gathered to continue discussing the sixth Patriarch Sutra. We are on the last chapter, chapter 10, slide number 62. Okay, let's dive into it. We don't have that many slides left, so this is the last of this wonderful teaching from not the Buddha, but from a patriarch of in Mahayana, Chinese patriarch, as a matter of fact. So it tells you the depth of the Chinese Chan Dharma. There's no such a teaching in Indian, in Sanskrit, as far as I know. But there's only a sixth patriarch, a Chinese patriarch teaching in Chinese. And he's not a Buddha, and he should be a transformation body Buddha, but we cannot confirm it. So he's, in my mind, he's probably the most important Chinese Chan master in China, because he really understands certain teaching. He really, his teaching style is really, really marvelous. And I am really appreciated now, especially having a chance to discuss it with you. We started like 4 years ago discussing this sutra every single weekend. And it got, if you go back to those lectures 4 years ago compared to the lectures we've been doing the last few years, it's like night and day, seriously. First we started 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, by basically going through my late Chinese masters and whatever the Chinese patriarchs or the Chinese patriarchs would have in their explanations. But as something happened, maybe Wei Mountain Temple happened, and San Jose happened, and Korea happened. So your skills improve so much that it doesn't do justice to this sutra if I continue the same style, the same level explanation. So kudos to you, okay? Hopefully we won't have any more new temples, because I'm running out of things to tell you, to teach you. So much pressure, okay? Take it easy, guys. Okay. But I can use more money. Just no more temples, that's all. All right, okay. Sutra text. So these are the final instructions that he gave to his disciples. It's funny because yesterday during our Chan class, we happened to listen to the video of one of Master YongHua's senior disciples, senior nun, who discussed actually the teachings of Master YongHua and used this chapter 10 final instructions as one of the Dharma he used to explain Master YongHua's teachings. And the first time I heard it, I watched it with the audience, and I was shocked to see how little they understand. That particular nun understands about the certain teaching, and it's so easy for you to misunderstand this the six patriarchs' teaching, because it's so profound. They're so multi-layered that you think you understand, but there's a lot more going on than that. And so to remind you. That yesterday was an example. I admit I was a little bit impolite, too blunt, because I don't know why. But it is so easy to misunderstand this teaching. The Six Patriarch Sutra is one of the more popular sutras, Buddhist sutras out there. A lot of people read it because they think they understand. And they don't realize that the instructions here are for from low level to very advanced levels as well. Okay, so it's just to remind you that it's so profound that even professionals like that nun there, disciple of Master YongHua, she's been with him like 40, 50 years. She must be 120 years old, at least. But she still misunderstands what it's about, because the instructions here are for his senior disciples. which are beyond her level. Sutra text. One who attaches himself to external marks and practices Dharma is in search of truth, or one who builds many bodhimandalas.
若着相于外，而做法求真，或广立道场。
Okay, we in a new section, right? Oh, before he says, don't make sure you don't slander sutras because, or you'll be in big trouble. Okay, so he goes, one who attaches himself to external marks and practices Dharma is in search of truth. The sixth patriarch is referring to the monks and nuns, okay, at all levels, okay, whether or lay people at all levels, whether you're low level or very advanced level, okay, and if you're attached to external marks, okay, this is a Chan parlance, where external marks. Only the Chinese Chan, the Mahayana teaching would keep on bringing up these concept external marks because they are critical to to the development of your wisdom. Okay, what happened is that what are external marks? Let me put that in a context of why you're confused. I'm using one of the 36 pairs, you will. You see? In that style, not exactly like that, because if you use it raw, then it's not as crafty, if you will. Anyway, so what happened is, why are you confused? We, in Buddhism, we call people who are confused, or the people who are attached to appearances. For example, I see money, I get excited. Proof immediately that I'm confused. Got that? Huh? How about seeing a red car? Okay? You see, we Californians are very attached to cars. Yes? If you attach to cars, you are confused. What about the Vietnamese? What are they attached to? Help me out, please. You're not Vietnamese. You are not an authority. I would like to hear from the experts. Vietnamese people, what are Vietnamese people attached to? Certainly not pho. Only foreigners are attached to pho. We Vietnamese know better. We don't attach to pho at all like the Koreans. Koreans are crazy about our pho. We have it every day. What's a big deal for us? Okay, what are we attached to? Come on, don't be shy. This is a time to shine. Okay, let's give up on Vietnamese. Yes, Q&A.
Master, I think the Vietnamese are attached to fish sauce.
Fish sauce? Vegetarian or authentic fish sauce?
Authentic.
It's true. If you ever, let me tell you, if you ever go to Sea Town, I remember I was a teenager going to Dong Dae, a Sea Town in near Nha Trang, half an hour from Nha Trang. and it's a fishing village, and they make fish sauce, okay, and so they put this fish sauce in this barrel, this porcelain, what's you call it, ceramic porcelain barrel. You age this thing for a long time. So they would take out a little bit of that fish sauce, and it is golden color. Mind you, fish sauce is not golden color. Okay, it's supposed to be like brown or like reddish. Okay, but golden color. So it's golden color because you serve in a small dish. These are poor people, They serve in a small dish in porcelain, white porcelain dish, and you see the golden color right there, okay? And then they slice these thin slices of squids, okay? Just steamed. And you take that and you dip into the fish sauce and you eat it. Oh, it is heavenly. That's the only thing I miss, among other things. Okay? I must agree. That fish sauce, I will tell you, I never could find anything like that, ever. It's something that you remember for life. And then I discovered balsamic vinegar from Modena. Never mind. Okay. The things we miss in life. It hurts. Okay, I must agree with fish sauce. Yes, black people, black spy. Black.
Thiếu một món ớt hiểm ăn vô hít hà mới ngon.
Ớt hiểm? What? Ớt hiểm. That's... Oh, please. No translation?
So, Master, I think the hot pepper, red pepper with the fish sauce is excellent.
I'm not impressed. Anyway, next. She's a spy, who cares? Okay, anyone else? Okay. I'd like to go away from food for a while. If you talk about food, it's not enough time. Vietnamese is one of the, Vietnam has a long country, a long-shaped country, so each region has their own cuisine. It's incredible. One of my acquaintances in Vietnam suggested we go back to Vietnam, rent a bus. We're talking a bus, okay? Not a van, a bus, an authentic bus, okay? And then we travel from south to north, okay, on bus, by bus, to speak Dharma, of course. I was about to do that until I heard about the bandits who prey on rich Vietnamese American monks. Never mind. Okay, the Vietnamese has a weakness. Yes, Hung.
Master Tesla Model S plus 250 miles longest performance with full automatic drive is the best.
I don't know what to say. You know how much I hate Elon's cars. I will not even mention the company's name. They are so coarse. Anyone drives those? Anyway, that's not cars. I mean, how can cars be shaped like that? It's so coarse, so crude, so American. Okay, never mind. Jewel Mountain has the answer.
Jewel Mountain says coconut oil.
Coconut oil. No, I'm looking for something more refined. Okay, this is something that the Vietnamese are, I notice a common trait, not just the Vietnamese, but also many ethnicities have this problem nowadays, is that the Chinese word is hao mian zi. What's that in Vietnamese? Huh? Tham diệm. Tham diệm. Okay? They're afraid to lose face. Yes or no? Yes, Q&A. The nước mắm person. Fish sauce. Nước mắm is fish sauce. Yeah.
Master, up here, everybody say is 喜宴.
See, right, there you go. She says, my Vietnamese is too crude. Okay. I'm like Elon to you. Yeah. Anyone else? Agree, disagree? It seems that people nowadays are so attached to their faces, the name, the reputation. How people perceive them. Yes or no? Right? Especially our donation depends on how you perceive us. Let's face it. Okay. So, why are you so quiet? No one's going to touch this, huh? Yes, Green.
Master, today people are more attached than ever to their opinions.
Attach their opinions. Absolutely. Especially manic people are so attached to their opinions. Ask Mary Jo. She will tell you. These people, it takes years to undo that. Yes or no? If at all. Okay, it takes years. I really had to beat up on my disciples for years before they get it. They're pretty sick. Yeah. Something wrong with you. Okay? And some are still work in progress. That's how hard it is. Okay, so if you're attached to appearances, you're attached to your 习业, to your how you perceived, that's confusion, that's delusion. Is that clear? So external marks refers to what you perceive, whether you're attached to words of praises, okay, or you're attached to pho, okay, you're attached to forms, beautiful forms, for example, okay, you're attached to fragrances. Okay, incense. You know, the Koreans they enjoy the tea and they burn incense. They inhale the incense while enjoying the tea. And that's an attachment. Okay, see that? Shocking, isn't it? Yeah, Koreans have attachments. All right. And so when you have attachment to external things, and this is not meant to be criticism, but it's meant for you to examine yourself, look at yourself, and see what external marks are you attached to. Okay? Yes, Black.
dạ.
Black.
Mô Phật bạch thầy. Bởi vì xin lỗi ạ. Mô Phật bạch thầy. Bởi vì chúng sanh đó, tu tới giờ này đó, kêu cũng là Phật đến tới thế giới này cũng mấy ngàn năm rồi. Tại vì chúng sanh đó tu không được có trí huệ hoặc là có giác ngộ. Tại vì một cái chấp trước quá nặng. Bởi vì tu không có được có cái trí huệ. Mô Phật.
Master Buddha has been born into this world for several years, but people, they cultivate, but they couldn't open up their wisdom because their attachment are too heavy.
Okay. Yes, black. Is it black? Is the same color? That's purple. This is black. Sorry. Okay. I'm losing my eyesight as well. Yes, black.
What would constitute an attachment? Is it versus a preference? So like, is an attachment like when it starts causing you trouble in your life, or you get mad like when you don't
What causes
have
the
it?
attachment? That's a very good point. What causes the attachments?
What are they? An attachment versus a preference.
Okay, what's the difference between attachments and preference? You want to answer yourself?
Well, I was asking, is it when like you get mad when you don't have it, or like yesterday you were saying you have it or you don't have it, no big deal. Would that be a preference if you said that, and an attachment would be like you get mad when you don't have it and you seek it greedily? Is that the difference?
I don't get it. But Jewel Mountain question.
Jewel Mountain asks, if you speak Dharma to someone and then that person restores her faith in Buddhism and really starts believing in Buddhism or the Pure Land, does this considered as part of sudden teaching?
Southern teaching? Oh.
Sudden teaching.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Next. Yes, black.
Is it possible to be attached to the Buddha in an unhealthy way?
No, that's not possible. Okay. You're asking a Buddhist not be attached to Buddhas? We call ourselves Buddhists and we're not attached to Buddhas? What kind of Buddhist can you be? Yeah, but that's an exception. YouTube question.
Gingercatni asks, how can I restore my faith in Amitabha after practicing Theravada?
I don't know. I don't know you. I'm sorry. I don't know you well enough to recommend what you need to do to restore faith. Okay? Anyway, maybe you should look into why you lost faith in the first place. Is it you or is it a monk? Anyway, external marks. Okay. Question that is still unanswered is how do these attachments come about, right? Any ideas on how we form these attachments? Yes, black.
Well, in the repentance we did this morning, we talk about the view of greed, anger, and stupidity, and views of love and other things like that, which probably which in classical literature would probably bring up attachments.
Okay. let me give you a quick answer because we're running out of time, and I've been accused of digressing very often during a lecture. So since a lot of you are here today and many are for the first time, so let me try to stay on course. How do you form attachments? Ask your parents. It's a simple answer. Okay, most of our attachments are created from our parents. Yes or no? That's what the therapist would tell you. Agree or disagree? Think about it. You go back to your life. You see how all these attachments that came to you, the strong attachments, actually were enforced, were introduced, were conditioned from your parents, from your family. Okay? So for example, the Vietnamese in Northern California, what are they attached to? Fish sauce. Right? We don't have that problem down here. Okay, YouTube question.
平等清净 asks, is preference also an attachment itself?
Come again? I was thinking of 平等清净. I know what it means, but 平等清净 sounds so musical. I'm attached to music, clearly. 平等清净. You know what it means? Huh? Chinese people, 平等清净. Okay, repeat the question, please.
The question was, is preference also an attachment itself?
That's what the Mexican, excuse me, I just saw a movie called The Mexican. Sorry, I'm attached to movies, clearly. Okay. Yes, it is. Any kind of attachment to external marks. External marks is an attachment. If you favor or disfavor any sort of external things, okay, whether it's a smell, whether it's certain looks, whether it's some words of praise, words of criticism, they're all attachments. Okay? And because of these attachments, you don't have any wisdom. If you have attachments, then you have no wisdom, according to Buddhism. Yes, Q&A.
Emitofuo Master, is it because of the craving that make you have the attachment?
Yes, I crave for acceptance my entire life. Absolutely, you have these desires. You have these cravings. They are very strong desires. That's because you have delusions. Okay. So, what do we do? Let me put it to you this way. If you have wisdom, remember I started by telling you that if you have attachments for money, for children, for music, for movies, for cars, whatever, okay, any type of attachment, then you have no wisdom. So far, so good. That's the premise. Okay? What about sages? What's the difference between us and the sages? Aren't you curious to find out? It's easy to criticize, right? I mean, you have so many attachments. I admit I have a lot of attachments. But so what? What about sages? Do they have attachments or not? What do you think? It's not written anywhere at all. Yeah, yes, Black.
Well, they probably still have some sort of residue left over, since they're not a Buddha. Unless they were a Buddha, they probably wouldn't have any attachments. But I would assume they have a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Less than people who are not sages.
Agree, disagree. This person here from down south is of the belief that the sages, unlike us, have attachments fewer than us. Agree or disagree? By definition, if you have attachments, then you have no wisdom. How can you be a sage? You see, if I were there with Master YongHua, I would have asked him this. I said, see, he died too soon. So now I can't ask these people. And remember, folks, when you go over there to those temples, you don't ask these type of questions, you hear? You don't ask questions they cannot answer. Okay, it's called etiquette. Okay, etiquette. Connecticut. Okay, etiquette. Okay, you don't embarrass people. Okay, it's not like, I remember I was there and they have these poor guest monks come up and they make sure they ask you a question you cannot answer. Like yesterday, that a guy in the kitchen asked the Japanese new abbot, what is he supposed to do with his toenail clippings? There's at least 1,000 different answers. If I were there, I would have said, eat them with fish sauce. Okay, but anyway, you don't ask those type of questions to people. Okay, if you know they can't answer, then you don't ask. Yes. So isn't there a contradiction that the sages have fewer attachments than us? Then how can they be sages? Yes, great.
Master, I wonder if they're sages because they can drop them.
Sages because they can drop them. Excellent. This is the difference between an ordinary person and a sage. Okay? An ordinary person says, I love money. Oh, it smells so good. Okay? It feels so good. Oh, $100 bills. Okay. So confused people, ordinary people say, oh, it feels so good. And just like Guo Yin's late mother, she would, I met her at Lu Mountain Temple, she gave me $100 bill. As soon as I opened my hands and tried to grab it, yeah. That's after Guo Yin asked me to send her to the Pure Land, unfortunately. If she did that to me before, I agreed to send her to the Pure Land. It would be a different story. Anyway, so you see, ordinary people, they're attached, but they don't realize it. You see that? They say, it's normal. There's nothing wrong with me loving my beloved wife. Huh? It's nothing wrong with me being attached to my wife. Okay? That's confusion. You see that? It's shameless in some cases. So, if you lie to women, you have to learn to lie better, my man. Never mind. Okay, you got that? Okay, so confused people. They're confused because they have attachments. They don't realize they have attachments. Is it clear? In contrast, sages, they say, oh, money, money, money. And say, oops, it's an attachment. Done. I'm not sure what done means, but okay, because I'm not a sage, okay? But that's a difference. You understand that? Confused people are victims of their attachments. Sages are not victims of their attachments. They realize they're attached and they can do something about it. They can get rid of the attachments. We cannot. We still love our wives. You know what I mean? Okay? We love to be attached. Sages, they refuse to be victims of their attachments. Does it make sense to you? This is why we learn about Buddhism. Buddhism is about giving you a choice. If you want to remain attached to your children, be that way. But realize you're attached and work on it. Is it clear? Yes, purple.
Mô Phật bạch thầy, cái người chấp trước đó, thầy nó có được giải thoát không thầy? Hoặc là người chấp trước đó cứ ở thế gian này hoài?
Master, those who has attachment, do they have a chance to get liberation, or they were stuck in this world?
Anyone has any ideas? Anyone, please? Huh? What did I say, Andres?
I think everyone has a chance at liberation.
I didn't say that. You're going out of script, my friend. Anyone else? YouTube question.
Emily asks, what is Theravada that is against Buddha?
What does Theravada guys have against Buddhas?
No, the question was, what is Theravada that is against Buddha?
The Theravada that is against Buddha? This is from our Illinois, Chicago policewoman, so do not criticize her. She wears a gun. I don't understand the question. And Theravada is not against the Buddha. Okay? Okay. Is there a question still outstanding? Yes, sir. Give him an orange.
Thank you, Master. I'd like to try to answer the two questions. I have a preference for an aisle seat, but I'm attached to Alaska Airlines. Number one.
Okay.
Number two.
Wisdom in there somewhere, yeah.
Number two, if using my miles on Alaska Airlines helps me fly to South Korea to support your temple, maybe that act would get me liberated.
Act will get you what?
Liberated.
Liberated, I see. Again, there's some depth in there somewhere. Okay, it sounds very simple, very American, but there's some Mahayana flavoring in there. Anyone else? Would you like to comment on those comments? he speaks in riddles. The riddles get harder and harder. I used to like it, much clearer to me. I love my wife. It's so easy for me to understand what he's trying to get at. Now it's so convoluted. Yes. Anyone else? Would you like to make a comment? Yes, Black.
Well, I think I see what he's saying, because if I wasn't attached to certain things, I remember when I first trying to start sitting full lotus, I was really attached to it. I was super attached to it and super obsessed with it, and I tried really hard, and it was extreme attachment. But that attachment eventually benefited me, and even now, like, I'm really attached to coming to temple over the weekend, because if I don't, I get really mad at myself. And so I feel like that's an attachment that will eventually benefit me.
Some kind of self-promotion somewhere. Okay. How about wise women for a change? Yes, Green.
Master, what was the question? Was the question how do we know
lost track,
if
my
we
friend.
have attachments? How do we know we have attachments? Is that the question?
I think they're still discussing attachments and preferences and wives and
Well, I was going to
Alaska
say,
Airlines, last I remember.
if you want to know if you have an attachment, go home, pick up an object in your house, take it out to the trash can, throw it away. If that brings you sadness, you have an attachment. If it brings you contentment, then you know you don't have an attachment.
You don't have to. I like this guy. So if I like money, it's not an attachment. Love it. I love you. This is good. I feel better now about myself. It's just like the old man back there. I'm attached to going to the Pure Land. It's a good thing. Okay. First of all, preferences are heavier attachments, right? That's what it is. An attachment is just an attachment. I prefer boys over girls. I like children, but I prefer boys over girls. That's a preference. Therefore, it's a heavier attachment. Okay? So, it's even worse. You have a preference, it's even worse than an attachment. It's harder to undo the attachment. Okay? YouTube has a question.
Gingercatni asks, are attachments caused because of our refusal to accept things change?
Let's not go there. If you go there, we don't have enough time. Okay? Buddhism is not about explaining. We have no interest in history and going back in time to explain to you everything. That's reserved for the scientists and the scholars and so forth. Okay? And the therapists. Okay? We don't do that. In Buddhism, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how it came about. You have a problem right now, okay? The Buddha made an analogy. It's just like someone has been shot by an arrow. And people came to his rescue. He said, "No, don't touch me. No, don't bring me to the hospital. No, don't help me. You need to tell me who shot me. Is there poison in the arrow? Okay? You have to answer all these questions I have first. Why me? All the people have to be shot. Okay? All these questions I have, you need to answer them before you bring me to the hospital. So by the time you answer all his questions, he's dead already because it's a poisonous arrow. So that's the analogy the Buddha says. He says, it doesn't matter if you're shot by an arrow. Okay? Do you need to find out who shot you and why on earth and so forth and so forth? What kind of poison, whether it's poison, who shot you and so forth? Okay? There's no time for that. You see that? This is where this is the difference between people who are wise versus people who are unwise. Wise people see the big picture. We see the most important thing is for you to get treatment, to save your life. Only confused people would worry about the intellectual questions like why and why me and so forth. And life is so unfair and so forth. I'm such a good person. Why do bad things happen to me? Anyone ever asked yourself that? I'm a very good person. I'm a virtuous person. I'm a nice person. Why bad things keep on happening to me? Huh? It doesn't matter. You have a problem. Buddhism, in Mahayana in particular, more so than Hinayana. Hinayana people would like to know why. Okay? Mahayana, we said, it doesn't matter why. Let's fix the thing. Okay? You have a problem, fix it. If you discover a problem, you fix it. Sometimes you can fix it without knowing why. Sometimes you need to know why in order to fix it. Then you learn why. But if it's not necessary, you don't need to learn. You don't need to find out. Just find a way to fix it so that you can live. Is that clear? So this is why a lot of people get lost in these discussions. They would like to know why, they would like to find out a reason for that, and they have to find justifications for what happened. It doesn't matter. You have a problem, the most important thing is to find a way to fix the problem. You are dead, okay? You are dead, and it doesn't matter who you should leave your money to. Does it? It is irrelevant to you. Right? It doesn't matter anymore. If after you die, the only thing that matters is that what now? Yes? That's the nature of Buddhism. We have a problem, we fix it. So the difference between confused people versus wise people is that wise people, never mind but confused people, wise people, they realize they have a problem and they put their efforts into fixing those problems. Whereas we confused people, we find out we have attachments and we make excuses for our attachments. Yes or no? We justify our attachments. Whereas wise people, they said, there's a problem here. Better fix it. That's the difference between wisdom and confusion. Confusion, we're victims of our confusion. Yes? Wise people, they're only temporarily confused. Because as soon as they're aware they're confused, they can fix it. They have ways to fix the confusion. Whereas confused people, okay, when they realize they're confused, they cannot fix the causes of their confusion. They don't know how. Discussions, comments. Yes, White.
Master, a lot of people who come to therapy with problems don't want you to rush to help them solve it. They seem to be wanting to spend a lot of time invested in the problem, complaining about the problem, getting a lot of emotion around the problem, and they want to do that first before looking at solutions. We waste a lot of time there.
Waste a lot of time? I call it job security. What are you talking about? I love it when people come to my temple and say, Master, I love my wife. Me too. I mean, you know, because those are the people who keep on coming. If they're free from their confusion, they're not coming back. Trust me. They say, I don't want to be attached to your temple. You see that? Those are no good. We want attached people who are confused. Our best customers are very confused. YouTube question. Oh, I reveal all the secrets of being a monk. Oh, good Lord.
平等清净asks, Master, what can we do to decrease our attachment? Meditation, Buddha recitation, repentance? What would you recommend?
They're all the same. It's no high, no low. It's all equal. It's the middle way. I don't have anything wiser than that. Okay, and please don't ask me about your toenail clippings. Next. Yes, orange. What's the new riddle?
Master, I think it really matters who you leave your money to, especially after you're dead.
There we go again. This guy's shameless.
May I expand on that?
Please do, please do.
I think it matters a lot because you want to leave your money to the person or people who are going to help you get to the Pure Land.
It's getting better. Still shameless, but it's better. Any comment, response, repost? Let them have it. Very good, excellent. You can't beat wisdom, I guess. Okay, so where are we now? Okay, so that's the difference, okay? So how do you get rid of the attachments? Okay, attachments need to be worked on by layers. Okay, if you say you as a confused person, it's not possible for you to get rid of the attachment immediately for most of us. Therefore, we need time. We need to work on it gradually. Okay? So, for example, the one of the analogies is that if the San Jose people are attached to fish sauce, okay, then you don't just withhold fish sauce from them right away. You just ration it, okay, and keep on rationing it, okay, until it becomes zero. That's the typical approach of dealing with your attachments, okay. And so, depending on your level, and this is where level matters, okay? The difference between us and enlightened people and sages is that their samadhi level is higher than ours, so that they are able to pierce through the fog of confusion when we can't. Is that clear? that is the nature, the function of Samadhi power. It drills through the confusion, drills through the fog, okay? Like those fog lights, that pierce through the fog. And that's the same thing. And that's the nature of wisdom, is that the wisdom, you shine the wisdom light, your wisdom on the attachment, and you see how ridiculous the attachment is, and you can drop it immediately. So the reason we can let go of our attachments, because we realize the attachment is not good for us, ultimately. Okay? So that's why as you can get rid of the attachments in a couple ways, two primary ways. Number one is I just talked to you about gradually. Okay, you reduce the level of attachments gradually. Okay, does it make sense? You eat less, for example. You want to, you attach to eating. Then you eat less and less and less and less. Okay, that's one. And the other way is to get rid of the attachments is to drop it just like that, cold turkey. Okay. Yes. Orange.
Master, is John an attachment?
Is John an attachment? You asking me, or are you personally, or?
I mean, I have to do Chan every day.
You have to do Chan every day.
I mean,
okay. When you ask questions,
shattered.
folks, remember, when you ask questions, be specific. Okay. We're not talking about hypothetical situations here. We're talking about you. I don't understand this. I want to know this. I have this problem. Okay? There's no theory here. Theory is for scholars, for universities, okay? Because they don't know what they're talking about, so they can discuss it over and over again, week after week, year after year, lifetime after lifetime, because that's all they talk about. Talk. Okay? Here, consider it like a therapy session. Never mind. Go ahead. So, rephrase your question, please.
Master, if I don't practice Chan every day, then I'm more scattered than I am if I don't do it. So, Chan, is that considered, doing Chan meditation, is that considered a good attachment because it helps you out?
And that's the details about how to undo the attachments. Okay, there's some good attachments and bad attachments, and this is where a good no advisor can guide you in the right direction. Okay, yesterday, as we explained the preface to the Invocations Sutra, we have the concept of good no advisor providing substitute. Okay, and that's necessary for you to unwind it gradually, unravel it, let the attachment unravel gradually by using substitutes. Okay, so for you in particular, if you are attached to doing Chan every day, it's a very good thing, because let me explain to you this way. The attachment to Chan is actually a good attachment that will help you undo a lot of bad attachments. So it's about using poison to deal with poison. Okay, so that's called expedience. All right, so it's a good thing. I wouldn't worry about it. YouTube question.
平等清净asks, Master, are you saying that as long as we increase our samadhi, we automatically decrease our attachment?
Absolutely. Every single level of samadhi, wherever you are, each and every one level of you, whether 0 to whatever samadhi level, concentration level, samadhi, again, those of you who don't know, samadhi refers to it's a measure of your concentration level, okay? How long can you sustain this concentration, okay? And each level of concentration, we call it level of samadhi in Chan meditation, especially in Buddhist Chan. We are very precise. We measure these gradations of concentration levels. So each level corresponds to a reduction in attachments. And that's the secret about good no advisors. The good no advisors are the great ones like my master. He would look at you and he says, you're at this level. So for you to make it to the next level, these are the things you can do to make it there quicker. Whereas the people in Hinayana, for example, or Theravada, or whatever they want to call themselves, or outside of Buddhism, they can't, first of all, they don't know how to measure samadhi levels, okay? In Hinayana, they can see level up to a certain point, okay? But they don't have the precision in Mahayana we have, okay? But in Mahayana, so I speak from experience. I know a lot of Hinayana people, whether it's Thai, whether it's Korean and so forth, I talk to them and I realize that their comprehension of samadhi or concentration level is not as precise as ours. Because ours, we have much more accurate descriptions of what they are, those states of minds. We are much more familiar with them than the other people, all the others, period. So in particular, I say that because my master, Master YongHua, Chinese master, my Vietnamese master is not that level, but my Chinese master was able to look at your samadhi level, and he can easily tell you what to do to move on and get out and so forth. That's what I think what he did to help his disciples over there. Okay. In contrast, Master Huineng, okay, can give you instructions, okay, that will cause you to leap. Master YongHua is more incremental. You're here, in order to go to the next level, this is what you ought to do. Okay? And to go next level, this is what you ought to do. Okay? And that's why I call Hinayana Mahayana. That's the instruction he gave his disciples. In contrast, Master Huineng here, okay, he's able to give them the leap. He can teach them, give them instruction for them to leap several steps at a time. That's the difference. Okay? So it requires, number one, the ability to recognize where you are. Okay? And depending on your on the good known advisor's level, he can give you the proper instruction for you. So the better good known advisor will help you leap a lot bigger, make you a bigger leap, like Master Huineng. Okay? Or the Buddha, he can give you instructions and leap. Okay? But for the patriarchs, they are not as adept at doing that. In particular, the seventh patriarchs, The sixth patriarch is an aberration, if you will. After him, I noticed the seventh patriarchs are nowhere near his level. It's the same thing with my master is. Master YongHua is an incredible patriarch compared to all the patriarchs, Chinese patriarch I've read. Okay, his level is incredible. Okay, of course, of the recent patriarchs in China, I'm not talking about Bodhidharma or Master Huineng and so forth, the way beyond Master YongHua. But the recent patriarchs, the last few centuries, Master YongHua is an aberration, clearly an aberration. Okay, and it's just like in the case of Master Huineng here, sixth patriarch, what he left behind is nowhere near his level, nowhere near at all. Okay, unfortunately, that's the way it is. That's life. Jewel Mountain.
Jewel Mountain asks, if someone has a lot of blessings but lacks virtues, would that obstruct that person to make progress in samadhi power?
Absolutely. You can have a lot of blessings, but you need to convert those blessings into samadhi. In order to have samadhi, you need to have blessings. Okay? Conversely speaking, if you have blessings, you can then convert those blessings into samadhi. Okay? And that's where the good no advisor is very helpful in that sense. All right. Okay, so let's go back to slide 63. We've been digressing because in particular we spent a lot of time to explain to you more about Buddhism in layman's terms, because we have some people here who don't necessarily come to the temple that often. And so I want them to understand, at least here of this thing here today, that Buddhism is very, very practical from our perspective. It's not. It's very useful for our daily lives because it talks about, practical things like our attachments. Why are we so attached? If you like those attachments, nothing wrong. You loved your children, okay? But there are other attachments that you can undo. They're not necessarily good for you. Then you should undo them. Stop being the victims. That's a message, okay? From the Buddhas and the sages. YouTube question.
Jane asks, is getting a depression plaque a method of sudden teaching?
At times it is. Okay? Very rarely, but for this particular thing here, at times it is. If it isn't, it's because the dosage is not strong enough yet. Okay? And that's the reality. You have an illness, and which requires penicillin, and you only give aspirin. It's not going to fix it that quickly. Okay? You too.
Christopher asks, Master, is there a way for us to tell which samadhi level we are at, or is it something that we can only find out from our good knowing advisor?
It takes a long time before you see your levels. For example, okay, when you reach, let's talk about the Hinayana people. Hinayana people, if you reach about the range of an arhat, first stage, second stage, third stage, and so forth, you begin to be able to see others in your range. Okay, you may not see it that clearly, but however, you can see that you better or you're not as strong. Okay, so for example, I remember this is second stage arhat in Korea that I met a couple years ago. So when I saw him, I said, oh wow, my Vietnamese disciple is only first stage arhat. He's a second stage arhat. Okay, so this is great. Then I can tell my disciple that, you know, she's someone better than you. So to motivate him, okay, and so a year later, the guy came. That Korean monk came to the U.S. and he looked at my Vietnamese. It enables you to detect those things, but they're very inaccurate. They cannot tell precisely where you are. They can tell that you're stronger and you're not as strong, but they cannot really have the precision in Mahayana. Okay, so that's to tell you when you reach a certain level, you begin to become sensitive to that. Okay, and you can tell. But that goes to the Mahayana range as well, where the Master Shinhwa disciple, for example, they can tell that they're better than you. Okay, same thing as the Hinayana Korean monk that I told you about. They can tell they're better than you. I remember my Dharma protector who brought me to the city 10,000 Buddha, something like close to 20 years ago. Okay, he's worried about me, so he had to accompany me to protect me, okay, from them. And so we went there. Okay, he drove me there. And then we went there, and so he encountered that scary woman, the scary nun, yesterday. And she's barking orders around. Okay, and then he told me later and said that she tested him, and she whatever happened. Okay, he didn't tell me, he gave me the details, but he says that woman immediately knew that she's not as strong as my bodyguard. So she backed out. Okay, so they're very sensitive, these people. They have the ways to find out. Rather coarse, if you will. Rather coarse ways to find out. Okay, maybe because my master never taught them. I'm not sure. But at Master Shinhwa's level, their teacher's level, he only has to take a look at you. He can tell immediately where you are. Which makes it easier for him to teach you. Okay, he says, you are right now here, but your level is that, so I give you the certain teaching to get there. You see that? So he does certain teaching, but for some reason not to his disciples. So far, so good? Okay. But again, it's a lot more than these sutras can capture, than these Svahai. The Sixth Patriarch Sutra was recorded by the Sixth Patriarch's disciple by the name of Chan Master Phahai. Okay? And of course, his level is not Master Huineng's. That's why whatever recorded, a lot was missing. He didn't capture everything because he couldn't understand what was going on. Okay, so what we're getting, even though it's wonderful, it's marvelous, actually it's a lot more going on than Phahai, the guy who transcribed this, was able to detect, was able to see. Because even Phahai cannot see the level of these people. So that's why a lot of these things he described are he missed a lot of things. Yeah. Okay? Questions or comments? Can we move on? Okay. So, going back to slide 63, the same slide that we started an hour and a half ago. The person who attaches himself to external marks, that's us. Okay? He's referring to confused people like us who are attached to marks. And we said, I love my family. I love my mother. Okay? Period. There's nothing wrong with that. I love my father. Period. Okay? What's wrong with that? Okay? So, for such people who are attached to external marks and practices the Dharmas in search of truth, Buddhism is a set of practical techniques for you to see the truth about who you are. Who are you? Why are you here? Okay? All the questions that we ask yourself when you get a little bit older and you're about to die. You say, oh, I spend my entire life making a lot of money. Who am I? Huh? What happened? How come I love my children and now they're older, I'm older, and they all left me and they love someone else? My beloved son only loves his wife and ignores me. Huh? So Buddhism is about helping you pierce through all this confusion, all these fogs. Okay, if that's what you want to do, Buddhism has practical approaches that have been proven to be successful for over 3,000 years. Over the last 3,000 years in the history of Buddhism, we have a lot of very successful people, whether they become arhats, whether they become enlightened, whether they become someone called YongHua. Okay, all those are from practical approaches of Buddhism. That we created these personalities, we trained these personalities. Okay, they're for real. There's someone called Shakyamuni Buddha. Okay, in the history of mankind, that's what happened. Okay, so we have these proven track records. So for those people who wish to have answers to those questions, who am I? How do I get out of this confusion? Okay, and then we also have a lot of people in history, particular in Chinese Buddhism, where these people says, I can get out of this confusion. Let me go to the Pure Land, and I will be free of all confusion for sure in the Pure Land. And we have even many more people. Okay, many-fold more people who were able to use those particular approaches in Pure Land Buddhism to go to another world with Amitabha Buddha, where they're safe, they're happy, they know no more suffering, okay? And they are gradually opening the wisdom. They're letting go of their attachments. Day by day by day by day. Okay? And they're with the best teachers there is in this universe by the name of Amitabha Buddha. Okay? If you want to find a teacher, that's it. I highly recommend him. Okay? So we have countless number of living beings, not just people, living beings. We're talking about chickens, we're talking about dogs, we're talking about mosquitoes, okay? We're talking about tigers who, after they die, in contrast to the people here, we human beings who are so smart, who are so educated, after we die, we're totally confused. We have no clue what's going to happen next, okay? We are basically powerless. Okay, whereas these people, okay, they are much better prepared, so they managed to use Pure Land Buddhism to go to Amitabha Buddha. Okay, one of such method is the 49-day service behind me, which we will do that service for the last time for one particular individual as well. Okay, today. So for that particular, so we have these set of different tools that you can use to get out of confusion. That's Buddhism right there. If you buy into this concept that you want to stop being a victim of your confusion, you have two choices. You can become enlightened right now, so it requires a lot of commitment, a lot of sacrifices. Or you can become enlightened next lifetime if you go to the Pure Land. No more confusion. No more uncertainty. No more suffering, absolutely. No more sickness. No more worries about sickness. You will never be sick ever in the Pure Land, Western Bliss Pure Land. Never any more sufferings. Okay? And may I say, you'll be even happier over there than you are here with your wife. You know what I mean? It's the truth. Okay? But if you don't believe that you want to be your wife, there's nothing wrong with that. But at least prepare for when you're no longer with her. like her husband right there. That lady back there behind the spy number 1. The sister number 4. She arranged to send her husband first to the Pure Land. Huh? He says, I'm finally rid of you. Yes, riddle man. Orange.
Master, then imagine how much happier I would be if my wife was there with me too.
Shameless, so shameless. The lies are getting better and better. Very good. I would not touch that with a 10-foot pole. Okay, anyone else? Okay, so in order for you to end your confusion, that's called search of truth. You confuse because you cannot see the truth. That's why you're confused. So if you're tired of your confusion, and in particular, confusion is pain. Confusion is suffering. That's why we crave so much for the can of beer. You know what I'm talking about. Huh? We're suffering so much, it's, I need to have a beer. Yes? Sort of. Or some Jack Daniels. Huh? Okay. That's not, let's stop there. That's enough attachments. Okay, so you search. When you see the truth, that's when you let go of your attachments. You see how ridiculous it is. Okay, the truth, for example, to a drug addict who says, I like it so much, but they cannot see what happens to them, to their bodies, to their brains, okay, to their family, to their loved ones, okay? They cannot see those things. So the truth, they cannot see the truth of their conditions, okay? So what the 6th Patriarch is teaching us, he says, if you want to see the truth, okay, and yet you choose to attach to external marks, okay, or you're not looking for truth, okay, but you build many Buddhi mandalas. What he's referring to, okay, is that if you are confused, you are attached to external marks, right? And you are in the phase, this phrase here, you are in the period of the proper Dharma, 500 years after the Shakyamuni Buddha died, okay? So you're seeking the truth right here. Or 500 years later, even later, when you're building churches and temples, okay? So that's, or a new Buddha hall somewhere up north, okay? That's the semblance Dharma era. So far, so good? He says, doesn't matter, you're in the proper Dharma period or the semblance Dharma period, okay? Okay? You see, now I look at it differently. Before, I look at it as seeing the way and help others practice. This actually is referring to, for you people, my disciples, Buddhist disciples, in the proper Dharma era, 500 years after I die, or the next 500 years after I die, meaning the semblance Dharma era, you see? It's very precise. Okay? Next, 64. Sutra text. And speaks of the error and evil of existence and non-existence, will not see his nature for many aeons.
说有无之过患，如是之人，累劫不可见性。
Okay, so commentary. Okay, so he says, even if they have the blessings to be born earlier, back then, 3,000 years ago, or you're born 2,500 years ago, okay, and you practicing and you insist on talking about the error and the evil of existence and non-existence, you will not become enlightened for a long, long time. That's what he says. So what does it mean? Let's talk about existence and non-existence, okay? Existence is basically life. Okay? And non-existence is death, maybe? Okay? So when you talk about these concepts about life and death and so forth, and you speak of the errors and evil and so forth, you keep on talking about the good and bad and the evil and so forth, okay? You keep on talking. Like who? Like who? Who does this? Huh? Scholars? I hear scholars. Do I hear Catholics? Yeah? Catholics? Uh-huh. Do I hear? Oh, hi Daniel. Didn't see you coming. Okay, so you see, these people, they speak, they talk and talk and talk and talk. What do they talk about? They love to talk about the errors, what's wrong, and what's so bad. Sounds familiar? These people? They're so wrong, they're so bad. We're the ones who are right, we're the ones who are good, right? They're bad, they're wrong, they're evil. He's evil, he's wrong. Sound familiar? That's all I hear about. The only thing that I hear about people talking about me is I'm evil, I'm wrong. Yes? My existence is evil and wrong, and might as well be non-existent. What he's talking about is that watch out for these people who only talk about others wrong, okay? Others evil. They talk. That's all they do, okay? Because they only talk, they will not see the nature. They will not have any real wisdom. When you see nature, that's called real wisdom. Okay? That's the Buddha's wisdom, is the only thing that's real wisdom. Below that is not real wisdom. Is that clear? So there's a jargon here in Buddhism, a very simple word, see the nature. It means that you become enlightened, meaning that you can see what the Buddha sees. That's called wisdom. Okay? It's not about talk. It's about whether you can see or not. Whether you can solve the Rubik's Cube or not, with one hand or not. Okay? That's what it's about. See? You're listening to him, aren't you? Wow, he can do the Rubik's Cube in one hand and listen to me speak Dharma at the same time. Look at that, huh? Impressive. Green, sir.
Master, if you're on the way, what is the real danger?
What the real danger?
If you are on the way, what is the real danger?
When you're on the way, what's the real danger? You quit too soon. That's the only real danger. What happens in Buddhism is that it's like cooking rice. Okay? You need to go through this procedure. You need to bear the heat. Okay? And you have to give it time. Okay? So that it becomes rice. There's a method of doing this. Okay? And it's not meant for you to understand every single thing. You just do like we Asians do. Okay? That when Asian-hating non-Asians don't know. I'm very political today for some reason. Okay? It's something that scares me about that. I can't even go out without looking around. Anyway, it's scary. Don't you think so? Wrong time to be Asian nowadays. Never mind. So the real danger is that you quit too soon. It's supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be something that you cannot understand. If you think you understand, you're in trouble. Only stupid people think they understand. There's so much we don't understand. All right? So you quit because you feel it's not beneficial for you. But you don't realize that efforts are being made to pave the way for you to progress. And it's being done without you knowing about it. This is what, in Mahayana, the good knowing advisors are supposed to do. Whether you want to become enlightened or you want to go to the Pure Land, we need to prepare for that. It's not something you can figure out yourself. I'm sorry. It's not that simple. So that's why the Chinese, this is the problem I have with the Chinese, it's so mystical. They leave a lot of things that's so abstract, so confusing, so that it's subject to misinterpretations. It's not. Since nowadays, you go to learn meditation from the various approaches, whether Hinayana, Mahayana, Zen, or Chan, and so forth. You have plenty of misinterpretations because these people are not certified to teach. They're not. And if you learn from, when you go to school, you choose your professor based on his certification and where he came from, his diploma, his rating, and so forth. But when you learn meditation, you learn things that are much more important in life. You believe the first guy who sounds good. Okay? So this is the nature of confusion to me, is because it's the nature or Dharma ending age where people are easily confused by words. Okay, Buddhism is about results. It's very Americanized, very practical. Okay, it's no talk. Okay. You keep on talking and talking and talking. It sounds so good, and it sounds so pleasant, it sounds so great, it sounds so logical to you. And that's the nature of confusion. You delude yourself. That's what happens. If you really have wisdom, you don't need to talk. One look is all you need to understand. Okay? And that's true wisdom. You too, go ahead.
Christopher asks, Master, is the sixth patriarch Huineng a Buddha? I was reprimanded before for recommending his sutra to others because it is criticized that he has not attained Buddhahood. So why is his teachings called a sutra?
Because it's called a sutra because people who are much wiser than us, like the patriarchs, like the bodhisattvas, decided to call it a sutra. We didn't call it sutra. I didn't call it sutra. My master didn't call it sutra. It's the people before that, okay, in China, who decided to call it a sutra. So it's about. I personally believe it's a sutra because it's very profound. It's this kind of level of depth that Shakyamuni Buddha teaches. Okay, it's fascinating to me in the sense that to watch how he teaches the higher level bodhisattvas, the way he did, the way the Fahai recorded. Okay, and it's too bad. I wish I were there. It would be fantastic to see actually what happened. Okay, Fa Hai didn't capture enough for me. I'm disappointed at Fa Hai, okay, and that he didn't do better jobs, okay. But this is all we get. That's all we can afford to have access to, okay. So easy. So I feel that 6 Patriarch is much higher in my master's teaching because they both taught me. Master Huineng taught me once, and Master YongHua taught me 5-6 times, and there's the difference in the way that I was taught is about night and day. Okay, it's a huge difference. So I find it very fascinating that the way they taught. So I feel that the 6 Patriarch, I personally believe the 6 Patriarch, it has to be a Buddha. There's no way that he's not a Buddha. But it's just me, okay? Don't believe in the idiot. All right, time is almost up. Do we have time for, I don't have any clock. He's blocking my clock. 2:22. Okay, let's continue. Sutra text, listen to the Dharma and cultivate accordingly. Do not think of the 100 things, and for that will obstruct the nature of the way.
但听依法修行，又莫百物不思，而与道性挂碍。
Okay, 67. The great teacher, one of the greatest Chinese teacher in the history of Buddhism, he says, here's my instructions for you. You want to see the truth. Okay? You want to be born to the Pure Land. Okay? Here's what you do. You listen to the Dharma and cultivate accordingly. Don't try to understand. You listen to the Dharma, meaning listen what the Buddha said. You read sutras, you read Master Huineng's instructions, and follow the instructions. Okay? Do not think of the 100 things. Do not think. 100 things here, do not think and think and think. Just do. Okay? Listen to the instructions, listen to the Dharma, and execute accordingly. Stop thinking of 100 things. Stop thinking about your family. Stop thinking about tomorrow. Stop thinking about now. You know, the Westerners learn meditation as meditation is to be in the now. Baloney. There's no now. Okay? Is that too much? Is that too blunt? I don't understand why they can get away, how they can get away with teaching meditation. And all the Theravadan people or Hinayana people agree with it. You know, meditation is to live in the now. There's no now. There's no tomorrow. There's no yesterday. Stop thinking about those 100 things, those miscellaneous things, because that will obstruct the nature of the way, that will obstruct your cultivation. Is that what he says? Yeah, you go, see? Your practice, you're obstructing yourself. This morning, we did a repentance in order to avoid the obstructions in our pathways. That's what repentances are supposed to do. Help you get rid of the obstruction for what you want to do. Whether you want to become rich, anyone? Huh? Want to do with God? Be with God? Anyone? Put your hand down. Okay, you know what I mean? Whatever you want, okay? There's obstructions. Isn't that right? Think about your life. Whatever you really want to do, there's always something that obstructs you. Someone who obstructs you. Yes? You want to go out with your friend. What happened? Your wife disagrees. All you want is to eat 20 Del Taco tacos. And she says, no, that's too many. Okay? Or all you want is eat lunch at Way Mountain Temple, but the girlfriend says, no, 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 you're wasting your blessings. Is that what she says? I'm just guessing. Why do you think I call them spies? Never mind. Okay? So we repented this morning to remove all the obstructions. But what the master, the great master says, the biggest obstruction to you is actually yourself, your thoughts. What thoughts? I want to be with God. You know what I mean? I don't want to be Buddhist. Okay? Those are obstructions. Get rid of those thoughts. If not, change girlfriends. You cannot get more practical advices than that. Okay. Any final questions or comments? Yes.
Master, do not think of the 100 things. In Chinese, it says 又莫百物不思. It seems like the second character 莫 is not translated.
It is translated. 莫百. 又莫百思, 莫百物不思. You're right, more is not translated. We need to check the C beta. Look the exact Chinese, the exact Chinese text for this here. Okay, but the instruction is, I don't know why there's a more here, but the instruction here, the translation is that I explain is don't think. 100 things is whatever crosses your mind is 100 things. Actually, 10,000 things or a million things that cross your brains. Okay, all the time. Stop that. Don't follow them. That's what the instructions are. Very simple. Okay? All right? So we need to double check. Thank you for pointing that out. We need to double check and we'll get back to you next time on this particular phrase here. Okay, right here on 67. Okay, next time we continue with that and then move on to slide 68. Okay, let's do the reverse transference. Thank you all.